Hey, good morning. It's an early ride here in southwestern Finland. It's July, end of July, getting into August. I had a long ride yesterday, and today I'm just going to take it easy. Taking out bad horsey here, and going to reflect a bit on my unfinished Brevet 400 from a week ago, and got some thoughts on that. Thoughts on cycling in general, but let's get going. Yeah, so I attempted a 400k Brevet last Saturday, exactly a week ago actually, and had to abandon. I think I rode about 3:30 by that time. Pretty gutted about it, but not as gutted as I thought I would be. I think, given the circumstances with what's happened previously this summer, with my injury and getting back to the swing of things, and it didn't feel that bad. But after a week of kind of reflecting on my total failure, there's a couple points that I'd like to share with you about riding brevets, long distance in general. So, number one, make sure your equipment is serviced and ready to go. So I think what ultimately caused me to abandon last weekend was that I was so annoyed by myself that I had forgotten to go through my gear, and I had a flat front tire, a slow flat on my front tire, and I thought it was a puncture, and I kept on searching for the puncture, and added a sealant, and nothing worked. And eventually I figured out once I got home that it was actually the valve core was malfunctioning. And of course it didn't get better by me constantly pumping the tire every 30 or 40 minutes. And just that kind of, I was just so annoyed by that slow flat that I think it really contributed to me abandoning. So yeah, even though you've got good gear, and make sure it works, because honestly I was only 70 kilometers away from completing the whole thing, but I was just so angry that I couldn't continue. Number two, the three most important things to take into consideration when planning a brevet: route planning. I think I need to route by my brevets so that they don't go through city or town centres or even suburbs when people are the most active. So stay well clear of those. There's a lot of bad drivers, a lot of idiots really, and just something like like an oncoming car beeping at you for 10 seconds. What it does to your morale at that point is can be devastating. And you know, there's a lot of pedestrians who might be a little careless and not looking around, and that contribute to your stress levels. And so, I mean, yeah, make sure you got a good route. Number 3, the 400-kilometer Brevet. There's 27 hours time to complete that. Now that's a lot of time. This time I thought I could do it in well under that, obviously. Left at I think 7 in the morning, and I thought I'd have it completed about 1, maybe 2 in the morning or something like that. So the idea was I'd just ride the whole thing in one go. I think I know how I do it now. Is I start later on in the afternoon, late afternoon, ride 200 kilometers, you know, go until about midnight, past midnight. You can sleep for 5 to 6 hours after that, and then complete it the next morning. Make it a lot easier for yourself, a lot more enjoyable. Need rest after, you know, 200 kilometers anyway, proper rest. So why not do it? It's kind of like a cheat code really for the Brevet 400. Really doesn't work for the 300. There's no time to sleep on that one, but for the 400 definitely. I think that's what I'll try next time, whenever the next time is. And then number 4 is your diet, the food. On a long journey, on a long ride, you're bound to get sick at some point, and I think at that point the sweet iced coffees and the donuts really aren't going to help at all. So make sure you know what you can palate, what you can eat, what you can digest. Pack some of that food, and you know, keep yourself feeling good, keep the gut happy, keep yourself energized. I think often they say that you know, brevets they're not a cycling contest, they're not a race, they're not a cycling race, they're an eating contest. Who can eat the most? And sure, you need that energy, but then I think it's just as important to make sure that you're eating something that keeps you going, doesn't make you feel bad, doesn't make you feel sick. Because in the end, you know, cycling, what to me especially, is just about enjoying yourself, what makes you feel good. And kind of realised that I didn't really mind that I didn't finish the 400. And this past week I've been doing some really enjoyable, nice rides, and I think, you know, it's fun to challenge yourself, but it's also fun to just not look at your power meter or your average speed, and maybe just take a turn at a corner onto a road that you haven't gone on before and go and explore and keep the whole thing interesting. And It's a good balance of things, I suppose. Yep, but I better get going. This is my friend who tried to do the Brevet 400 without a brake. He didn't learn the lesson. Here he is on the side of the road now, warning everybody about the perils of a Brevet 400 without brakes. Take heed. As I was just inches away from getting soaked once again, I remembered a final point. If you don't like getting wet, don't go on a long ride. If there's so much as a 10% chance of rain, because you will get wet, you get soaked. I got totally soaked twice last week, and it's really kind of, you know, demoralising, I think. So, something to keep in mind. Now I need to get back home before I get soaked again. This was not forecast, but it's just what the summer has been like. Back home. So, is this turning into some kind of a vlog? Only 10 years late. 10 years after it was popular. Who knows? Stay tuned, like and subscribe.